Welcome to the cutting room floor.
Brad, we were doing good this entire time, and then you just had to screw it up. Like, we're supposed to be Silencio before.
I had to do it, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Man. What am I going to do with him? But anyways, here's our skit.
Woo, man, the Big Apple. I can't wait to go to New York City for the first time, man. This is exciting, man. Exciting. Oh, come on, man. Where's my Uber, man? They were supposed to be here like 15 minutes ago. Like, I want to go see the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building. Hey, maybe even see a New York Yankees game, man. Oh, there's my Uber.
Living in the city ain't no big deal. You gotta have a heart made of stainless steel. If the cracks don't catch you, then the hookers will. Living in the city ain't no big deal.
Right behind you, motherfucker. Yeah. Woo! Yeah! 6 of you have tried, 6 of you have failed. Now, it's time to see who you truly are.
There's never been one.
Lucky me. Oh, there's never been one like me.
No!
Cream pie in here?
You look at that, man.
There we go.
What's going on, guys and gals? What's going on, guys and gals? And welcome to Good Real Hunting. We're up to the good reel, so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad, the Brett Man's right over there. And today we're going to be talking about Scream 6. It's all led up to this point. We did the rapid review last Thursday when the movie came out. Today we're going to go full spoiler review. We're going to go deep into this thing. So, of course, we'll say it many more times, but this is a spoiler review. So make sure you've seen the movie. And of course, Bert will do the official spoiler warning here in a little bit, of course, but we are glad to see everybody here tonight on this Tuesday, and really excited to talk about this movie, man. We're gonna have some fun tonight.
Well, I'm glad one of us is having fun. I just got killed by a clown. Like, what the hell? How am I ever supposed to recover from this emotionally?
Yeah, that wasn't a spoiler. It might be a spoiler review, but that wasn't a spoiler skit or anything, dude. I don't think
we
that's
had
ever gonna...
no idea what we were doing. We were just having fun based off what the trailer, like the official trailer gave. But yeah, as like they said at the end, we appreciate everybody for making the Screen Review series a great success. With the live interactive reviews, your all's interactions make these videos run as good as they can be. So we appreciate you for that. The trivia or videos have done really well, so we are going to bring back that series for a feature installment of franchises, wherever our next franchise project's going to be. And then, of course, you all make our skits freaking awesome, man, to hear your all's positive feedback on that. So again, thank you, everybody. We could not do this without you.
Yeah, and of course, as well, too, that this isn't going to be the end of Scream Talk, of course. We got a show coming up on Thursday where we talk about all of our predictions and stuff that we did with Destiny last week. So that's going to be fun. It's almost going to serve as a second spoiler review because we're going to go in and talk about all the predictions we got wrong and right, because some of us did pretty well, your boy Brad included. But we're also going to be talking some Scream in the next few weeks. We're going to put a little slash it out together and a couple of the little things we're working on. So
yeah, and a tier stream too with Chad too.
Yes.
Because we were supposed to do it this Thursday, but we wanted to do that post Scream 6 predictions stream with Destiny, so we rearranged it where we're dealing with it this week. And then next week we're going to be doing a tearing it up, baby, with the Scream characters in the franchise. So we'll get the popular characters. So we'll get all that situated. So be sure to follow us on all of our socials for the latest details. So let's go ahead and say hello to everybody. Hello, get this freaking bad boy started, man. Let's see here.
Goodbye, buddy.
Sorry, that Coca-Cola got to me, man. Lamontre, what's going on, man? It gives it a 5 out of 5. Hell yeah, man. So we already got a golden reel for this son of a bitch already. That's excellent. Good Real Hunting, don't know who those ass hats are. We got Yo Adrian, how you doing? We're here to hang out and spoil Scream 6 for everybody, you know? And yes, Rosie, my dear, what is going on? She just got done recently with a procedure, so we are glad to see her back. So Rosie, I hope you're watching, because I'm about to give you the biggest rose in the history of Good Real Hunting.
That's
There
a
you
big
go,
ass
my
rose.
dear. There is your rose for this particular one, and I'm going to keep on showing this every time you show up in the chat. So Rosie, my dear, here is your rose. So let's see here. What else we got here? We got Chris Snyder reminding everybody that this is going to be a spoiler review. So Chris, thank you so much for that. And of course, we got the poll for the letter grade, so be sure to vote on that as well. We got Mark Jones. What's going on? Mail from My Killer Podcast. What's going on? How are you doing? We got Aaron Click. Chris is anonymous or Pennywise. Talking about the skit. We got Sebastian. What's going on? We got Russell. What's going on? Brother Fluff saying, spoiler alert, Omos is going to kick Brock Lesnar's ass at WrestleMania. Nah. Yeah, my God. Yeah, Brad. No lie, that is an actual WrestleMania match. And we also got Brooke. What's going on there, Brooke? Hopefully you are doing well. Anybody else? Oh, you're so welcome, Rosie, my dear. You are so welcome. And we got Gavin. What's going on, Mud Nelson? And that is everybody I see in the chat. So let's see here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Of course, we got to do this real quick. Of course, we got to thank our real hunters, man. They're the official backbone of this channel. So if you and I want to go to New York City sometime, the real hunters will take us to New York City so we can see the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, and even go to a Yankees game. So if you all want to help us get to New York City, which we're kidding, we're not going to New York City, but if you want to help us support this channel, the Patreon link is in the description down below. Select on it, select a tier, especially read them carefully, because we did rearrange some of the perks today, so read carefully before you select one so you all could be a real hunter today. And if you don't want to do Patreon, we also have our YouTube membership program, where you can earn cool badges, have cool little emoji accesses, and many more perks, so you can also be real hunters today.
Yeah, and of course, if you can't be on Patreon or membership, that's okay. Just being here, supporting the channel by being in the video, liking the video, sharing the content, commenting on there, all that fun stuff helps us out quite a bit as we try to hit our goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let's go over the movie fact and Rotten Tomato stuff, and we'll freaking just start spoiling shit, man. That's what we really love to do on this channel. So let me get a deep breath real quick. Scream 6 was released on March the 10th of 2023. That didn't seem like that long ago, my friend. But anyways, IMDb with a 7.4 out of 10. Letterboxd a 3.9 out of 5, where most of the folks come in at a 4. Rotten Tomatoes, 77% by the critics, which today actually it officially got certified fresh. So big accomplishment to Scream 6. And of course, the audience with a 92% audience score. That's freaking incredible for a horror movie. Budget $35 million. The box office it's 40.5, but I do rounding and stuff, so the domestic box office of $44 million on opening weekend, which is a franchise high all-time record. Globally, $67 million, is directed by Radio Silence. Those two fine gentlemen right there. Of course, the cast, we got Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega, Courtney Cox, oh my gosh, Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown. All of them are really awesome. You could even say a good core 4 there.
The core 4, yeah, man, they're great, man. They really took over this movie. No huge surprises here. I think this rating's pretty solid. It's one of the better ones in the franchise. Of course, the audience score is good. And here in a little bit, we're going to see what the horror fans themselves think about it. So that's going to be really exciting to see how it came in on the horror scale there.
Oh yeah, and dude, I even if you want to hear them, I'm not sure if people want to hear them. I kept track of the numbers of which Scream movie in this franchise had the best scores of each of the movie scores we see on this movie facts card.
Hell yeah, Birdie.
Yeah, if y'all are interested, if you're interested, let me know and I'll read them here. I'll read them at some point. But we gotta get. Let me remove this banner real quick. There we go. My first fresh review of this is from Jimmy O from Joe Blows. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to be professional here. Joe Blow. Brad, read it for me. Take it.
This is from Joe Blow's Movie Network.
Okay,
Jimmy
thank
O.
you. I appreciate that. I
promise.
apologize for my unprofessionalism. But he does say Scream 6 is a massive surprise. It's tense, it's scary, and it's fun. And I was happy to engage with the new players involved. Dude, I could not say this any better myself. Great value, Tom Savini.
Yes, man. This is actually a friend of Chris Snyder's, man. Look at that. He said, Jimmy. It's a good friend of his.
Oh, are
so
you serious?
cool, man.
Hell yeah,
Famous.
man. Okay, so I take back that great value joke. So we don't want to make fun of one of our friends' friends. So yeah, hell yeah, Jimmy. So Brad, what's your fresh review here?
This is from Sarah Michelle, not Geller, but Fetters. They're related, but only slightly. This one, she's from MovieFreak.com, of course, top critic. She says Scream 6 shows there's still life in this series, and now that a new generation has began given control of the story, I'm curious to see where things go next. Yeah, man, absolutely. I think I just put a bunch of words together, but that's okay. I agree with this entirely, man. I think this was the movie where this new cast really took over and started to grow new legs for this franchise. And I'm, for the first time in a minute, actually really excited to see where this franchise goes next.
Hell yeah, man, dude! I'm so excited for you that you're super excited to be on this journey of the new the new era of the Scream franchise. So hell to the freaking yeah! Unfortunately, I did find this asshat named Edward Potter from the Sunday Times from the UK, saying that a diverting but forgettable installment. Well, first off, if you're going to spell anything, be sure to spell. There's a thing called spell check, so installment is not spelled correctly. So you know, what? Congratulations, Edward, you twat. So I just forgettable. I will promise you, by the end of this spoiler review, you will not forget this, just because this is the. Are you kidding me? Like, if there's anything that's going to be forgettable, it's going to be freaking Gail's bangs. Oh, who am I kidding? That's not forgettable either. So you are totally wrong, Edward.
There's nothing here that's going to be left on the cutting room floor like Birdie's ass in that one skit. God dang, Chris. Shit cracks me up. All right, let's see. What do we got next? Jake Wilson from The Age, from Australia, Birdie, from Top Critic here. It's all pretty clever, but ultimately not quite clever enough. The current Scream team have given themselves too much to do and lack the energy to keep it all in focus. I think if there's anything that that radio silence has brought us, is not a lack of energy. You can tell they are pumped up to be making these movies. You can tell they're putting a lot of heart into these movies. They're putting a lot of effort into these movies, and they're not, they're not going out here for easy cash grabs. They're giving us enjoyable flicks. So I do think that you are incorrect, Sir Jake, in saying that they lack the energy to do anything, because they are doing very well.
Absolutely. And Maddie Baker, I just saw you in the chat right there saying excellent use of the word twat. Well, you know what? That guy freaking deserved it. And you know what? Jake Wilson deserves it too.
I thought you said that, but I was like, Brett did not just say twat, dude. No way.
I did. Sorry, man. That guy made me so angry, like forgettable. I promise you this. I am not going to forget this freaking movie for a very long time. So bullshit on that part. So I apologize for our unprofessionalism. I will be professional moving forward here, and that would be starting by, guys, this is the time. We are about to dive into these spoilers. So again, if you have not seen Scream 6, stop this stream if you're watching after the fact. Go to the theater immediately, because you need to watch this movie on the big screen. Come back here, and so you can hear our thoughts about Scream 6. And of course, let us know too in that comment section down below. What do you think about Scream 6? You can go ahead and spoil away in the comment section. No boots to asses this time. And then, of course, this is our official word of a spoiler alert.
No, hang on. Spoiler alert. Okay.
Thank you, Darth Stewie. And of course, we got the spoiler logo down below Brad. So, Brad, I'm going to shut up now. Let's get into it. Scream 6 spoilers, go.
First off, before we get into any of those spoilers, I gotta say that we foreshadowed weeks ago who the real identity of Pennywise was with our of Ghostface was with our backgrounds here. You can see Ghostface over there. Pennywise is right here, man. That was done not very intentionally. But anyway, let's go on and rock and roll with this thing, man. Of course, Birdie, you're probably gonna have to keep things really in line tonight because I've only seen the movie the one time. And I did not take notes in the theater, so we're just kind of lean into it and have a good time and talk about the movie. But let's start things off by talking about this freaking epic opening this movie's got, man.
Man, what about this freaking opening? How can you not even bring out a better opening than this, man? Of course, we just start out with Samara freaking Wingfield. God, I can't even talk right now. I'm just so distracted. I did indeed use the word, that T word. And everybody in the chat is legit stunned. So I apologize.
What T word did you use, Bert?
I'm not going to say it again, dadgummit. You can rewind it afterwards. But
T word was it?
Dadgummit, Brad. Stop it. Okay, but Samara Weaving is on screen looking absolutely gorgeous. She is a professor of cinema, man, and she loves to teach slasher movies, because they actually offer something to the world of the cinema. In fact, she gets a phone call. I cannot remember the dude's name, but she gets a phone call and he's trying to find the bar so they can hang out, talk about stuff.
Yeah, she's on a date.
Yeah,
on a blind date. A
date. Oh man, Beverly Hills Ninja. But yeah, so he's like, well, I'm gonna cover this alley. Can you come outside and all that? Okay, actually, he did say for her to come outside. She volunteers to come outside. So apparently, she was not a good professor of cinema when it comes to her horror movies. So she gets into the alley trying to find her date, but she doesn't find a date. She finds a ghost with a face
and a voice. But what I liked about this is when she first got the call, it wasn't the Ghostface voice. It was a normal dude voice, it wasn't Ghostface. It was the actual actor's voice talking. And I thought that was interesting because you thought that maybe she was getting a call from Ghostface. And then you're like, well, maybe not. Maybe this is going a different direction. Maybe we're not going to get Ghostface right at the beginning. Maybe it's going to be something different. And then as things start to pick up in that conversation, it starts getting a little bit darker, a little bit weirder. We start to know where it's starting to go. And I think this is really for the first time, since the first movie where we really didn't know for a second, at least which direction this phone call was going to go. It took us on that little ride. So I thought that was really cool. But then when it swaps over to Ghostface, when she's outside and she's like, oh, it's not the only thing red I see around here. I can't remember what the fuck he said. That was good. And it was just fucking, we're going to get down to some shit now. And then, when he pops out of the little alley, like the side alley going through the alley and stabs her ass, man, it was brutal as shit right out the gate. She gets freaking slayed, man.
Oh, dude. Not only does she get freaking slayed, we get to hear Samara's beautiful, beautiful screaming voice. Because to me, she has one of the best screams for any final girl in the horror genre. And she got to use that damn voice selling all those freaking brutal ass knife stabbings, man. And she gets got. And then we get the biggest, to me, one of the biggest OMG moments possibly in the Scream franchise. Ghostface gets revealed in the opening act. What the hell's going on, man?
He just pops that mask off, man. And they made sure too, before they revealed him, they're like, this is not going to be like Scream 5. She's not going to come back later in the movie and be fine. She's deader than shit. And then, the dude pops off the mask and it's like, dude, it's the dude from Spider-Man. It's freaking your boy, Flash or whatever.
Flash Thompson, Penis Parker. Oh, man, I do not like that dude. But in this movie, I was a fan of his.
Yeah, as soon as he opened that he took that mask off, man, I was like, what? This is crazy. I was like, where are they? What are they doing right now? Is this going to be like a Halloween Ends where they just completely do something crazy? Or is this going to be, is there, I really didn't know. I honestly had question marks all in my head. And I like that because that's the first time in a while they've made me have that kind of reaction.
Yeah, exactly. And Mel from My Killer Podcast perfectly says, what did we learn here? Don't go into dark alley looking for a strange man you don't know.
That's a win.
Exactamente. Especially she was a college professor teaching the rules of you don't do that. But it is what it is. It is a horror movie. And I know that a lot of people were upset that Samara, this was the only time we get Samara in the movie. But you know what? We got her. So we are blessed to have her on the screen for a Scream movie. And I thought she did her job well.
She did, man. Yeah. I mean, obviously, somebody said, I can't remember exactly who it was in our prediction video, that having her in for the opening kill would be a waste of talent. And I think not, man. She brought all of her talent in for those 5-10 minutes, and it makes for a very memorable opening that's amongst the best of this franchise, in my opinion.
I was stand corrected on that. So my apologies to the beautiful Samara Weaving. But okay, get that comment.
I just want to snag this from Aaron too. He was waiting throughout the whole movie for the voice face and never got that character. He was there. You just don't know about it. He's good at staying in the shadows.
Maybe in a feature fan film we'll bring voice. We'll get in the credit session voice face. So maybe in the future. Don't worry, he will return someday. But what we do get, however, we're just going to call him Flash. I totally forgot his name in this movie, so I'm calling him Flash from Spider-Man. Is making his way back to his apartment building, and then who does he run into? What? Another what? Tara Carpenter, man. She's going to a frat house party, freaking living the high life, man. Because she freaking survived a horror movie, man. She deserves a freaking party and just get all the freaking trauma out of her system, man, with some drinking and a good time. And so he said he'd meet up with her later. And then he gets back to the apartment, puts his mask on or puts his mask up and all that. Just, taking some shots of tequila and then watching one of the best Friday the 13th movies in the entire franchise.
Oh, fuck off, man. He was watching that that con of a Friday the 13th movie, Jason Takes Manhattan. But that was a cool cameo to see that movie in here, basically, because, there was some homage there to the first slasher to go to New York, albeit very briefly. But we find out he's in the apartment that him and his roommate were playing it. Like they moved to New York from Atlanta specifically so they could, they could murder the Carpenter sisters essentially. So that was kind of cool. And, they had this whole plan to do the Ghostface thing and finish Richie's movie and all this fun stuff. And it was cool. And then he gets a phone call, man. And we get this really good drug out sequence in a good way that goes on for a few minutes where they play this whole hot and cold game in the apartment. He's like, oh, come find me in your port. Cause he thinks it's his roommate talking to him in the Ghostface voice, but we all know it's not really going to be his roommate, is it? He's running around the apartment and he's looking for him. He's like, oh, you're getting hotter. You're getting warmer. You're getting warmer. You're freaking sizzling hot. And the dude opens the fridge, man, and his buddy's got filleted, man. They had fillets in there, but they took those out and put his filleted ass body in there. His liver was in the mailbox, I bet, Birdie. He got sliced up every direction. He was in that fridge, man.
Oh my god, dude. It was freaking crazy, man. Like I just did not expect as soon as he said steps away towards the TV and said colder, you knew something was in that damn refrigerator, but I had no idea what it was going to be. And that is the particular scene where I kind of voted on that this is the most brutal Ghostface we've ever gotten in the entire franchise. Like I know we had our big moments, but to see a Ghostface freaking legit chop up a person and put it in the refrigerator, I was not expecting that. And then that's when Ghostface messes up the Flash. And then he goes, well, what about the movie? And then, of course, we get the awesome line, fuck the movies. And get the classic slash, and we get our possibly the best title card in the franchise.
Yeah, dude. And that line, fuck the movie, or who gives a fuck about the movies or whatever.
Yeah, who gives a fuck about the movies?
That again, man, I was like, dude, this guy doesn't give a fuck. And at that point, like there for a little bit, from this point on for the next few, like, I don't know, for the next bit, I guess I could say, I thought there was one killer. I really did. Because this guy he comes in with this intensity. He comes in with this old ass mask. He comes in just like, he seemed like the top tier, like boss level Ghostface at this point. Like, y'all can't fuck around because I'm the boss. And like, you know what I mean? Like I thought this was going to be like one badass from this point. We'll talk more on that later, but yeah, man, the slash was great. And then we go to that party that we were talking about earlier. Tara's there.
Yeah.
Before
there. you get to the party, we have more people in the chat. I want to make sure we get our hellos in as well. We got Matt Fauci. What's going on? We got, see her. I was just there. Wait a minute. Where did she go? Where did she go? There she is. Destiny, what's going on, Destiny? How are you doing? I appreciate you for hanging out with us. I know you and Braden got a spoiler stream tomorrow, so be sure to tune into that show. They're going to do an awesome job with their spoilers, but we appreciate you hanging out with us. We got Erica Lauren, what's going on? And I did saw, let's see here, Anthony Jordan Movies and More. How are you doing, my friend? Saying, unfortunately, at least for me, that opening scene was a false sense of security. It did something new, only to play it painfully safe. I'll be honest with you. I really disagree with that. Did not really play anything safe with that opening scene because we get something damn brutal in that refrigerator.
Yeah, I thought it was all pretty different. It's pretty fresh because the fact that you had the ghost faces, and then the main ghost face kills those ghost faces, and it just shows you how much of a fucking boss this ghost face is, because he's like, oh, you guys are chump change. So I thought like that kind of did a good job of setting up this ghost face, the main ghost face for this movie. Because obviously they were top tier. I mean, and I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. And of course, we got my man, Aaron. What's going on, dude? How are you doing, buddy? He was with me when we saw Scream when I saw Scream for the first time. I remember looking at him at that opening scene going, like, we were just shocked about that opening scene.
Hell yeah, we were, man. That was good shit.
All right, let's go to a frat party, man.
Yeah, we do, man. I thought this whole sequence was just a good moment of building up characters, man. Tara's there. She's about to go upstairs with this loser guy. Yeah, fucking Chad's there, and he's like, nah, dude, you're not going up there. Talking about Mason. No, his name's Chad. His real name's Mason.
Mason Gooding
Chad
is his
Mason.
name.
It's a good moment for him to kind of step in and be like, nah, dude, you're not going up there. It's just a lot of good character moments. And then Sam shows up, and we find out, like, their relationship, they all moved to New York together, basically, the core four here, Mindy as well.
Core four.
She's got her girlfriend there as well. As Sam shows up, we find out she's just been really overprotective since the events of the fifth movie, and you can see why. I mean, obviously she hit the fan. She was gone for a long time in her life before that too. So I get that, man. It's cool. So all that was good. I just thought it was good character moments here.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good character building. Kind of like doing like a recap of like how everyone is doing because this happened a year after the events of the Scream 5. That is, God, I don't know where I was going with that, man. But yeah, we get some good character development. Sam is just kind of like dealing with all this negative press. Because there's some bullshit Twitter and all that just saying that she was the one that did the killings and not Richie and Amber. And we all know that's freaking bullshit, man.
And that was a cool way to work in some commentary.
Such a great idea.
Yeah, because that's how modern life is, man. The internet gets an idea, one crazy idea about one thing, and it just takes off, and everybody jumps on the bandwagon, and it gets dangerous, man. We saw that here in this movie. We see it in reality too. So I thought it was a good way of working in those modern day issues there once again, and just the age of the interwebs, and how much it's evolved since the 90s and stuff. So that was cool. That was effective.
I want to get this comment from Destiny saying, I felt blue-balled after the first step. I'm glad we got our slashing title card. Yeah, and I was worried about that when it was like when Ghostface revealed himself to be like that Flash kid. I was like, where's our classic like slashing title card and all that? So I was extremely worried. But yeah, I'm glad we got it too, because you cannot have a Scream movie without that classic slashing title card.
Hell yeah, man. That was freaking epic.
But yeah, man. So yeah, Tara was about to go upstairs with freaking pervert boy, and then that is where Chad and him were having a fight. And then that's when Sam comes in, going, "Don't you put your hands on my sister? Oh, and by the way, I'm going to tase you in the balls." And she freaking tases that dude.
That guy was feeling blue ball.
Hilarious. Oh my god, dude. More like he became the most electrifying pervert of all of cinema entertainment.
Yeah, those balls were freaking zapping, man. All right, so they would go back to the apartment that I guess they're living at. We meet Sam's roommate now. She's got a roommate by the name of what's her name? Quinn. Yes. And she's fine. She likes sleeping around. She has different dudes over all the time. All that stuff's cool.
Variety.
They're hanging out again. Yeah, variety she likes. So she's sitting there. They're all having a good time. It gets kind of getting to know the characters again. And this is, already they've already become so interesting in the second installment. They've done a great job of building them up and making them really the main characters of this franchise now. going forward. And this is all great. And then we find out Sam gets a call from the sheriff, or the detective, if you will, the dude from Insidious 3, the dad. Detective Bailey calls in. He's like, hey, man, your ID is over here at this fucking crime scene, so you better come on into the PD and let's talk about this.
Oh yeah, man. So they were going to go down to the station, and just to fill in a little gaps real quick, like right before that, when Sam saved Tara, they get in a heated argument about how Tara just wants to move on while Sam is in the past and all that. And then she gets freaking drenched in cherry Coke. I apologize, Diet cherry Coke, just because sexy man across the street was getting with Sam. So that's a thing. So that immediately sets up a potential red herring in this movie, of course. And then also we get a little bit of unique, like a pretty much a relationship I did not see coming or even think about. And that's between Tara and Chad, man. And I've been saying this for the past couple of days. Honestly, in my opinion, this is the new Dewey Gale relationship in this franchise.
Yeah, man, they start to hit it off. They kind of tease at that a little bit, and that's pretty cool. But then this is where they go right to they're going to the police department. They run into Ghostface on the way at the convenience store, right? Or like out in the hall, he's out on the streets and he chases them through the convenience store. The scene we saw in the trailer, that was epic, man. That was one of the better chase sequences. Even though they showed it in the trailer, I don't think they spoiled anything. It was very tense throughout. You know, from the opening, you know, as soon as he busts in there and freaking blows that guy away, that was freaking just awesome, man. And they kind of get a nice moment of sneaking around the store and stuff like that. And he's you know, looking down the aisles. And they tip over. Like, it was all really effective, I thought.
Dude, it was so freaking awesome. And I'll even say this throughout the entire movie. This Scream movie to me is the most tense Scream movie we've ever gotten. I've never been more edge of my seat for a Scream movie than this one. And there are multiple occasions where the tension was absolutely great. And it's not only just great, it just does a really great job building up each of those 10 scenes. And so, like, as the longer the scene goes, the more tension it builds up with it, man. Like, they just, again, bravo to Radio Silence, man. I think they are the most best suitors of this Scream franchise carrying it forward.
Yeah, this was the first of many great chase sequences in the movie. There's several more, and they're all super memorable. This is something that we've never seen before. This is us feeling this New York atmosphere pretty heavily. For not really, it wasn't even the first time we felt it. I thought the opening displayed it pretty well too. But this is like really the first time you see. I mean, for really, I mean, this is really the first time we see a true slasher truly in New York, and you actually feel it. Like, I know Jason was there briefly. You know, he chucked some guy named Ken across a diner. Wasn't that great though? It never really felt like we were actually like doing much in New York. This time it already does, man. It actually does feel like a lived-in city. This convenience store felt like a real location. It felt like, you know, you should be safe in there, but you're not, because it's, you know, he's right on your ass and he's brutal and he's dodging shotgun shots. He's getting the shotguns and blowing people away. This is the scene that a lot of people in the trailer began to suspect somebody with law enforcement or military background or something like that, with the way he's handling the weapon. I know Chris was one of those people. And you know, it shows, man. This guy's a badass motherfucker you don't be messing with.
No, dude, hell no, he's absolutely not. And sorry, top 5 movie of all time for me is Jurassic Park. So anytime a Jurassic Park is referenced in the chat, I got to address it. And of course, Gory Tiger is here as well. What's going on there, Gory Tiger? Destiny brought it up and said, do you think that was a Jurassic Park reference with the kitchen scene while they were in the store? I'll be honest with you, abso-freaking-lutely just now when I'm thinking about it. Just because you know how Ghostface was in one different aisle while they were in a different other one. They used like throwing of an object to, you know, cause a distraction and all that. So
which is classic.
I actually, yeah, absolutely agree with that. So Destiny, badass for thinking about that. Because I honestly did not.
Yeah, so but herein lies the question, one of many questions, really. You would expect this version of Ghostface to be, obviously later we confirmed that Detective Bailey is one of the Ghostfaces. We'll get to the reveal later. But at this point in the movie, you expect this badass version of Ghostface to be Detective Bailey, the one who knows how to use a shotgun, the one that, you know, can blow people away. But the girls were on the way to his office. So I don't know what, I mean, what if they got there early and he was gone and he was out there just waiting? Like, you know, like it's kind of weird. And we see that a lot in this movie. It's not something that really brings the movie down for me. Just go on the ride, have a good time with it. It doesn't really matter, but it is kind of funny to think about those things. So yeah, I think for sure though, that was him. and he was badass.
Hell yeah. And we get to the detective room and all that. That's when Detective Bailey comes into play, letting them know that we did find a your driver's license at the kill scene, like at the opening kill and all that, and leaving with a Ghostface mask. But this ain't just no ordinary Ghostface mask. This is Richie's Ghostface mask. So I'm like, ooh, where the hell are we getting ready to go with this, my friend? And so they were asking him some questions and all that. And then suddenly, one of the other officers told Detective Bailey, someone from the FBI was there to talk to him. Who can that possibly be?
The FBI, Bertie.
And oh yeah, I know who it is. As everyone loves this big pink dude, whoever freaking sucks up everything, whatever it sucks up, it gains magical powers. Now I'm just king with you. It's not that son of a bitch, Kirby. It is my girl, Kirby Reed, coming back into the Scream franchise. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of teared up just because I love that character so much.
Yeah, it was a monumental moment, man. It was really the first time in a minute you had a something like that happen. So I thought that was cool. The first legacy character to be introduced in this movie, I thought it was really done well. And right off the bat, man, you could tell that she's matured, she's older, she's not quite the same Kirby we were left with, and I can appreciate that. I like it. I think she's good in this movie.
Yeah, and they also tied her in really great with this core group of characters, because that's the thing with legacy characters I don't see a whole lot of. It's like they just like the legacy characters just get thrown in with the new group and we're just supposed to accept it. They're like, okay, what's like the connection? They explained that immediately, how Kirby was a senior while Sam was a freshman, so they knew each other. So I thought that was really well done, putting a legacy character into this new group.
It was, man. I like that little caveat they put in there. If you
It's
will.
just small details, man.
Yeah, I like that a lot, and I just I know it comes a little bit later, I think, but I like the whole motivation that Kirby gave for becoming an FBI agent, getting law enforcement. She wanted to put the bad guys away, so nothing like that happened.
Or she wants the monsters to be afraid of her.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So that was a good moment. They all go back to their apartment and stuff, and they're sitting there. Kirby's not with them anymore. She gave her introduction and stuff, but the core four, the roommate, freaking Quinn, she's there. They're all having a good time. And that's when they get the neighbor across the street.
Sorry, before we talk about that one, we had to talk about something that's more important than that. It's Mindy's explanation of it's not just a sequel to a requel. We're in a franchise, baby. I was wondering where they were going to go with this. Of course, she explained the rules of a franchise, how everything is bigger and better than the previous installment. And then, of course, that the main characters are no longer safe. They're disposable. Even the legacy characters, they're no longer safe. And I totally forgot about the third rule, but I just love this scene in general, just because it's Mindy being Mindy, man.
Yeah, it's a good scene, man. You had to throw something like that in there. It's not necessarily as effective as it used to be now at this point. It just kind of feels a little tacked on, but it's a good sequence. At the end of the day, it's fun seeing everybody trying to pick out who the suspects are and stuff like that. And everybody's like, I'm not a suspect, you're a suspect. And it's fun, man.
Yeah, it was a really good time. And then we get to the back to the detectives. Oh, and before that, or I'm sorry, after that too, we get back to the therapist, where Ghostface kills the therapist and stealing Sam's freaking files, man, because that comes in a little bit of a play later on. And then that's when we get back into the apartment building, freaking hanging out. And then unfortunately, Sam sees a leaked video of her getting mad at somebody for, again, dumping that Diet Cherry Coke on her. And then that's where we just get a really great moment between the core four characters, man.
Yeah, man. This is when they're at the apartment.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, they're hanging out there. They're having a good time. They're all like, they had their suspicions about Sam being with the dude across the hallway. She comes out. She feels a little bit more close with these people now, a little bit more connected. She's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I am sleeping with a guy across the hallway. And they're like, oh, we knew it. A lot of fun to be
that
had
was
there.
such a great moment.
A lot of fun to be had there, man. But that said dude across the hall, I thought it kind of came out of nowhere whenever she was down there by the mailboxes and he walks in there and you're like, oh, she's about to get slayed. And then they start making out down there and it starts like, I don't know. Like, I know that was a little bit before, but that was just kind of a like, what the fuck just happened? Where are we going with this?
Yeah,
but it was good.
I was nervous, man. I thought like I'll be honest with you, I thought Sam was killing people on the side because again, like father like daughter, man.
Dude, I thought like when they did that, like they were going to be the killers for like a split second. I was like, what? Are they teaming up now? Or are they like the killers? Like I was like, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, and I wanted to get this comment from Brother Flev saying Snyder, Brad, and I are the whore four.
Oh hell yeah, dude! The
horror. Yeah, so I just thought that was funny. He said earlier that core 4 or horror 4 over core 4. I'm not so sure about that, but you know what? We make a damn good pairing, man. But yeah, so they were all hanging out in the apartment, and all of a sudden they hear Quinn getting her freak on in the bedroom again. And they're like, oh, Quinn, that's silly, Quinn. Tricks are for kids, and all that. But they get a message on their phone. Quinn is getting fucked up in that room. She's not getting a penetration that she thought she was getting. Yeah, or like across the hall, but
he saw through the window.
Yeah, from the window to the wall. But yeah, not only that, he was showing them that Quinn was not getting stabbed with she thinks she was going to get stabbed with. It was a knife, man. So all that, and then that's when again, this is where Ghostface just does not give a fuck about the rules and all that. He's just there with one objective in mind, and that's freaking gutting people, man. And so he throws Quinn's dead body out there. He starts stabbing Mindy's girlfriend, and then even gives Mindy a good stab in the freaking like kind of like this area again. And they're all freaking panicking, man, lock themselves inside Quinn's room.
Yeah, dude, for sure they do that, and Ghostface is banging through the door and shit. It's really intense. This is again the second big like memorable chase scene in this movie. That's just freaking tense from all be out. It really gives us that again that New York setting plays into it here, but not overly so. It's just there, and you can feel it because they're in this New York high rise and they're off the ground. They have nowhere to run. It's freaking they're trapped in there. Ghostface is preventing them from escaping, except the dude across the hall there, across the the fucking big ass gap between buildings, I should say, he's got a ladder. So he starts sneaking that over there to their bedroom, and they all start kind of crawling out one at a time to get to his place. And that was all intense. The last one to go was freaking Mindy's girlfriend. I can't remember her name. She just got stabbed up, by the way, like she got slayed in that living room, Birdie. Freaking torn up from the floor up, man. She had the knife stuck in her stomach. They twisted it. They fucking like all kinds. Like I thought her intestines were coming out at one point, but she's still over here.
Going to sternum.
Yeah, that's what happened. And then so she came out, but she's like, I'm still going to crawl over this ladder because I don't give a fuck. She's the last of the friends to go. Ghostface comes up to that fucking window. She's about halfway between the buildings. He jams his knife into the damn window seal and he starts banging this ladder around, trying to get her to fall off. And that was freaking crazy. That was chaos, man, if you will. And I like that a lot. That was like, we all knew she was going to fall to her death. We knew that. But the way it all played out, it was really cool.
Yeah, man, that was so cool. And especially if you watch this movie in 4DX, like when that ladder shake, my chair was like all over the freaking place. Like, oh my God, stop this freaking thing.
Popcorn's flying everywhere.
Oh, well, I didn't have that because I got good advice from you. Great advice, by the way. But yeah, we get then she falls up to her death. First off, hitting her head on the dumpster, and then back smack to the freaking ground, man. Freaking all broken up. She can no longer live. It was just
let's not make any rumors down the road that she's going to come back as Ghostface. She's definitely deader than shit. She's not coming back from that.
Please don't, man. And I'll go ahead and let you know there are two instances where this movie has verified that Stu Mockner is dead. I would get to those, or I would at least
disagree.
Get to one of them.
I disagree.
Oh, Brad,
I think they actually left it open.
Don't do it,
I actually feel like it's more likely now than it was before this movie. We'll get to it later.
Don't you do it, man. I'll prove you wrong towards the end of this review. But yeah, so we get all that. All the characters are distraught. And then walks in freaking Evan, man, going, hey, how's everybody doing? Why is everybody outside? That's where Chad gets freaking pissed, man. It's like, where the fuck were you, man? And because if then Mindy's like, you are high on my suspect list. Like Evan gets straight to the top. And then Detective Bailey finds Quinn's dead body, and he is trying to deal with it and all that. And it's just freaking a sad situation, man, at that point. And then Gale Weathers freaking comes into the fray the second time. We did forget to mention it the first time when they first left the detective's office of Sam and Tara. And we have a great scene of Sam trying to punch Gale and Gale dodging it. Like, you think this is my first rodeo? If it's Tara coming in with a nice right hook, man, I thought that was freaking excellent. And also how they explained Sidney Prescott like being absent from this movie was absolutely done to perfection.
Yeah, that was perfect, and it really did kind of feel like old school Scream One Gale here. The way her character was portrayed, writing books against people's will and things like that, and I like that. It's nice to see her kind of go back to her original character, and being strong ass Gale again, man. And here's a scene that I talked about briefly with somebody I can't remember, but the Detective Bailey was always on my suspect list because of the because of the the combat, the shotguns and all that. I always thought it was gonna be Kirby as the killer because I just thought that would be cool. And she's the FBI agent, but
He did to piss me off.
Detective Bailey was on the list as well. And even through this movie, like up to this point, there's really nothing that like he kind of started to slide down a little bit. Just because he had that, he was the roommate's father and stuff like that that we found out. But then his daughter gets slayed. So I'm like, well, I mean, it can't really be him, can it? Because she just got freaking chopped up in the bedroom and thrown out. And then when he does show up there he goes up there and sees the dead body and stuff, and he comes back down and he has that talk with Sam, and he says to her, and he gives her this creepy ass look, and he's like, oh yeah, you kill one of my family members, I kill you, or something like that. And he looks at her and he has this creepy ass look on his face. I'm like, dude, that's going to be the killer, I bet. Like at that point, I was pretty sure that somehow it would come back to him, because that was like a pretty direct line to Sam. But at the same time, I was like, his daughter just got slayed. So I don't know. I thought they did a pretty decent job throughout the movie of kind of dispelling your suspicions, man. And this was a prime example of that.
Yeah, that did throw me off as well. I had some suspicion that it was going to be Detective Bailey, but when Quinn died, like that's when, I'll be honest with you, I took him off the suspect list board. And if you're all wondering why I have this red pillow up, I didn't have a red flag, so I have a red pillow. So that moment where he said, "If you kill one of my family, you die," that is to me the ultimate red pillow of this movie.
You need to get your red flag, man. It'd be more fun.
I really, truly do. I really do. Oh, man. But anyways, moving on. Gale Weathers is freaking saying, hey, I found this pretty badass place. Possibly every Scream fan's freaking wet dream, man. The shrine scene. So they freaking visit the shrine at this old ass movie theater. It has all the freaking pretty much the best collection you will ever see. Like, we have some cool stuff. I know Chris Snyder has some cool stuff, and everybody has cool stuff, but it doesn't get any more cooler than this, man.
Dude, it was epic, man. It really took you on a trip of nostalgia, seeing all of these movies before us, coming back, going back to that original trilogy, even giving Scream 3 some more credit because it never gets talked about, those events, it seems like. So that was really cool to kind of see all that. And, they start trickling in. It might have been before or a little bit after this, the way that the killer's leaving these masks out at every murder. And, we knew the first one was Richie's, but then it's like, oh, well, here's Jill Roberts, and here's Charlie, whatever, Heineke, or whatever his fucking name is. And and then here's freaking your boy Roman from the Roman Bridger, the director from the third one. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like the way that was kind of counting down. It almost felt to me like a Saw movie for a little bit, the way this whole investigation was coming together. And the detectives are involved in all this stuff, and they're investigating it, and they're up against this clock, it almost seemed. They even said something like that in the movie. So I really appreciate it for that. But yeah, the shrine was badass, man. It was really cool.
Yeah, dude, it was really badass, especially when Sam gets to Billy Loomis's Ghostface, like glass case and all that, because again, Billy is the orig. The orig. And then, of course, guess who we freaking get back? We get back Ski Dog Rich is freaking back into the fray. Ghost Billy, that is. Telling Sam it's time to freaking carve up bodies, man. Freaking staballooya. And I totally forgot this comment for earlier, so I want to get this real quick. Mel did say, what did they think she was going to get stabbed with? Talking about Quinn in the bedroom. I have to keep this show PG, so it's just an eggplant. Let's just say that. Freaking eggplant.
Wait a minute, Bertie. You didn't. I'm just kidding.
What? Yeah, I did. I went there, but yeah, okay. I saw you pulled this up for Brooke, so
I
let's go ahead
did.
and get this real quick.
Okay. Yes. Brooke, I do have a question. She does have a question. I do have a question with Gail. How did she not know what Richie's dad looked like? She knew about Mrs. Loomis with her investigative skills. Surely she knew. And this was something I was actually talking about
It's called a
with
makeover.
yeah. She lost about 50. No, this is the I was talking about this with Chris and I know Brett was in the same group the other day,
Chad.
actually too. Chad, yes, thank you.
Fuck Chad.
How stupid was Kirby? Like Kirby's the dumbest one of all. Like, come on, let's get out of town here, man. We knew she wasn't very wise in the fourth movie. She made a lot of critical errors. And this movie, you're telling me she's the FBI agent on top of Ghostface's ass, like the one that's totally in charge of the Ghostface investigations. And she does not know that Richie's dad is the person she's fucking talking to, the NYPD detective. That was, to me, was the biggest stretch. And the Gale thing, just as easily, should have known who Richie's dad is. And man, it's a fucking question. It has you scratching your head when you really stop to think about it. But again, does it ruin anything? Hell no.
Bro, he's a detective. He can remove all of his past history. He could have
Not
easily
from the
changed his
FBI. You're
name.
not removing shit. No, they're gonna know exactly.
You gotta remember something, Brad. And again, it gets mentioned later on in this movie that she got fired from the FBI job because she went mental, man.
She did not get fired. He made that up to make people think that she was the killer. You're taking the word of the literal serial killer of this movie if you believe that she got fired.
Okay, I'm so fucking stupid. That's just that thought of that. Oh, okay, hey, just move on. Fuck.
And yeah, so but anyway, where were we, Birdie? You take over the reins, man. I don't know where the fuck we're at anymore.
No, it's okay. We're still at the shrine, man, and we get our one of the most looked forward to interactions in this movie, and that's between Mindy and Kirby having a freaking horror fan off, man. That's what I call it. I call it a fan off, where they were saying, "What's your favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie?" The original. What's your favorite Friday the 13th movie? Mindy said part 2. My girl Kirby, because she's a fucking boss, said part 4, the final chapter.
You know what Randy
got my
said?
question for you, Brad. Got my question for you. Ha! Where was Jason Lives, motherfucker?
That's what Randy would have said. The best Randy character ever. Too bad he died. R.I.P. But he definitely would have said Jason 6 for sure. It's Randy.
Anyways.
Randy would. Yeah, Randy's a guy of class.
But no, everybody wanted to see this thing, so they gave it to us in great fashion. You know, game recognizes game of a legacy character interacting with a new character. And then Tara and Sam have another whole, like, interaction with each other. And then Sam and Gail actually have a really good conversation about, like, when you lose to someone that is really important to you, you gotta move on for them. And then, of course, we get the amazing Dewey score during that end bit of their, like, interaction and all that, and I thought that was so well done.
Yeah, I like seeing anytime that Dewey Broken Arrow theme comes in, I'm pumped up. And this was
especially this time around, because you just know that he's no longer here, and it's sad.
And that was a good moment with Gail too. All that was really good.
Mm-hmm. And then they get a plot where they're going to get a van down by the river, and then they're going to put Sam and Tara on, like, outside in the open field, trying to catch Ghostface and, you know, track his call and all that. And it did work, actually. It really did work. But Ghostface wasn't in the freaking park, man. He was at, wait for it, Gail Weathers' residence, man. And that was a big, like, oh shit moment.
It was. And then she gets the call. And it really is the first time she's talked directly with Ghostface. And I know he said that to her. Ghostface did. This is the first time we've ever spoke, Gail. How would he know that? He wouldn't, because this is a random Ghostface in the line of many Ghostfaces. But it was really cool to see Gail get that moment, be that, you know, that main person talking to Ghostface. And I thought she did a really good job with it, honestly. She carried her own. You know, she was kind of a badass. I questioned some of her decisions as far as tactical skills go, as far as, you know, not staying in that closet whenever she had the upper hand on Ghostface. But, you know,
yeah, nonetheless,
dude, her boyfriend got fucked up completely.
Okay, see, I thought it was her boyfriend, but I am pretty sure, I think what I heard from somebody else say, it was her security guard.
I'm pretty sure that was her new
I want to
boyfriend.
say it was boyfriend too, but I heard
Yeah.
another one today saying it was a security guard. But I'm going to stick to boyfriend.
Yeah, I don't think she would have. I just don't see her being the type to have a security guard. And yeah, if it was a security guard, he sucked ass. But I think that was her new boyfriend.
Yeah. So, but yeah, dude, this whole interaction to me, I'll go ahead and let you know this is the most tense scene in the movie. The whole Ghostface chasing Gale. Because what really starts this off was Gale getting a phone call from Ghostface, and this was her very first phone call from Ghostface in this entire franchise. So I am glad they finally gave her that respect and gave her a scene with Mr. Ghostface himself, or in
Yeah,
this case, herself.
yeah. Like I just said, I think that was fantastic. It was good to see her have that moment, and I really liked the way the Ghostface was talking to her, man, because they brought up a lot of real life points about Gail. I'm sure Courtney Cox. They're saying, hey, without Ghostface in your life would be irrelevant. I'm like, dude, that's fucking cold.
Yeah, and like
That
Sydney was the star. What did that make you? The freaking knowledge and the sex appeal. Again, classic Gail Weathers comeback.
Yeah, it was all very like meta, I thought. So that was really cool. But again, she owned it. She goes, she after her boyfriend gets delayed, she didn't really care. He's like, oh, the muscles didn't really work for that man. Yeah, they really didn't. So that was good. And then she goes to the closet and gets that gun, starts blowing freaking holes in the door, straight like what Nev Campbell did in the last movie. And she had safety, man. She had concealment. She had everything she needed to just stay there. She even had a phone with her. I don't really know why she came out and put herself at risk, but dude, she
Oh,
ended
I
up getting
know.
because she wanted to kick a little bit of ass.
Yeah, she won't kick a little bit of ass for freaking just throwing all that diss about freaking Dewey, man. So, like, if someone's talking shit about you and the person you love most in your entire life, whoever loved you, man, like, I would want to kick his ass because rage
Now, Brett, man,
blinds
you're
you,
the
man.
same person that literally 4 days ago said that you wouldn't shoot somebody trying to kill your sister. So now you can't just go back and say, "Oh yeah, I would beat his ass for talking shit."
But, like, I'm just talking about, like, I understand her reasoning, but that doesn't mean that I would still fucking do it. Again, I would let you freaking get God. Like, hell, I'll even do it myself for a contact bar.
Yeah, I know. I just don't. I don't like the idea of giving up your tactical advantage, man.
Yeah.
Be smart. Be smart there. You can do that. But nonetheless, she did. She got gutted. Like she got pretty
Thanks,
slayed.
Dennis.
And you know what? I will say, like, I agree with you, Bertie. This is one of the most tense scenes in the movie because I honestly didn't know if she was going to live or die. If you go back to our prediction, Destiny and I both went back and forth on this several times. I didn't know. I was like, they could go either way with this. I kind of hope they don't. I like, I don't know if I could do 2 movies in a row with our people getting slayed, but I didn't know. So it was really a tense scene. I remember kind of just almost having a physical reaction of how tense it was. It was really good.
Yeah, it was really good, man. Especially like at the tenseness, and then when she gets stabbed with the glass shard, that's where I was like, "Oh shit, this is it, man! Like this is where she's gonna get got." But Sam Carpenter and Tara came into the rescue, man, and they stopped Ghostface from trying to kill Gale. And then Gale's like, "Tell Sydney if that Ghostface didn't get me." And I thought that was her dying breath, man. And like, oh crap, they actually did it, man. And then of course the EMPs came in and said, "Nope, we got weak pulse. I think we could save her." And then it was confirmed later on that Gail Weathers is still alive, which I think that's a missed opportunity, especially how the rest of this movie plays out.
Yeah, somebody needed to die in this movie. Didn't necessarily have to be her, but it could have been, and it would have paid off. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad she's coming back. I would like if this is going to end up being a trilogy and they end up being super epic with part 7. It'd be cool to see Nev come back and see them kind of together. And if she dies, maybe Nev's there as well, just so we could see Nev's reaction to that because they've always been really tight. So that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah. So where do we go
sorry.
from here, Bertie?
Oh, so yeah, where we go from here? Before that, I did saw Jamie Hart was in the chat. What's going on, Jamie? And from earlier, I saw Happy Sanjo. So Happy Sanjo, if you're still here, welcome, my friend. I just want to make sure we didn't leave you all out. But yeah, where we go next is they go to the hospital again because that's where Gail went. They wanted to make sure that she was okay. And Sam is pretty much at this point, like pretty much at a breaking point now. We're like, okay, I give up. He gets to win this time. I'm going to just sacrifice myself. And then that's where we get another core 4 speech of how they stick together. But that's where Tara comes up with this plan that they're going to use the shrine to trap Ghostface. And then they're trying to kill Ghostface once and for all and to freaking end it, man. But before they can get there, they have to rely on some good old transportation, a freaking subway station, man, because Subway, you got to eat fresh. I'm not talking about that Subway. I'm talking about one of those classic New York subway stations, freaking taking a little bit of a train ride.
And this set up one of the coolest sequences for a horror fan.
And the trailer again, the trailer did not ruin this scene for us.
No, it was super cool, and it just made you feel all kinds of different ways: tense, scared, excited because you're seeing all your favorite fucking horror icons all in one shot. The Statue of Liberty made an appearance here. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I'm going to call that now for Thursday as one of the costumes. This was Halloween. That was what one other thing that was really cool about the movie is Halloween in New York. And they go on this weather the storm.
Good one, Aaron.
They go down there, man. Busy ass subway again, feeling that New York, another epic chase sequence and another epic New York setting that we're feeling here. It really paid off. It really did add value to this movie, I think. But they get down there, dude, and you got all these people dressed up as Ghostface. There's a Jason in there. There's a couple Michaels, and was it like the Halloween 6 mask, or was it? It seemed like it was
something, and we saw Chick Lick Jason, we saw Grace from Ready or Not, which is a Samara Weaving nod and all that, and a Radio Silence nod because that was their movie that really broke them into the horror genre. So there were a whole bunch of things. And Brad, I was going to ask you, did you see Mojo Jojo cosplay?
I did not see that, but I saw the Shining twins were in there.
I knew you. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, Brad's gonna freaking point that out." But
I did see Georgie.
Georgie with the red balloon. Yeah, that was my cameo, ladies and gentlemen.
We weren't wrong entirely with the Pennywise thing.
When they were going down the stairs, you see the one with the blue cape. Do you remember that?
I think so.
Okay. Well, if you rewatch this in the future, when they go downstairs, I'm not even sure when this movie comes out, to digital and all that, we'll do a watch party for it. I could easily see us doing that. But when you go down the subway stairs, someone coming up with the blue cape, that was Mojo Jojo, the evil villain from the Powerpuff Girls. And why is that significant into this movie? That is a nod to our boy Roger L. Jackson, who is the voice of Ghostface, who also voiced Mojo Jojo in the Powerpuff Girls. So they gave him a nod.
I'll be honest, when you said Mojo Jojo, I said, I don't know who the fuck that is. Of course, I didn't see
I knew exactly. I saw your face. I was like, who the hell is this guy, man? And then I saw this thing, if we'll get more into this train subway scene. Chris says there should have been a chase scene through Times Square, luring him back to the shrine. Missed opportunity. Yeah, I'm kind of glad they didn't, though, just because I'm not sure how much more you can improve that's already been done with freaking Jason inside or in the middle of Times Square, man. I'm not sure how you can up that.
I think what they could have done something like that in lieu of the subway scene. Like maybe they're going through Times Square and there everybody's dressed up in costumes, and it's like, there's Ghostface, almost like that scene in Scream 2 when there's these masks all around you and she runs into Ghostface. Like that would have been kind of cool. But I like the scene, how it played out. It was because they get on separate trains. Mindy and the dude, Jack or whatever his name was, Ethan. They get on one train. The rest of the core 4 gets on the other train, and they're separated. One's 5 minutes behind. I like that adds a little bit of suspense to it because you don't know what's going to happen to who, because they're both seeing ghost faces everywhere. But then you have that one ghost face that's staring down Mindy, dude. The lights are going in and out. He keeps getting a little bit closer every time the lights come on, very much like Halloween 2018 when he's in the Elrod backyard.
Yeah.
And that was actually creepy. That was some of the best use of Ghostface I think I've ever seen. Like, just as far as from a horror element, like it was fucking good.
Yeah, we made fucking Ghostface scary again, man. Like throughout most of this movie, Ghostface was freaking scary, man. So I give him major props for that. And great tension building up, especially it started off with Samso and how many stops we have? 10. Like, and that's like, oh shit, they're going to freaking build this tension scene up like as most possible as they can, and that's when Ghostface gets Mindy, and not only just gets a couple of good stabbings in her. And I thought Mindy was dead here, man. And she gets off the train, and she's not pissed off as she got stabbed. She got pissed off as she guessed wrong again for 2 straight movies in a row. Randy would be very disappointed.
Yeah, and this is the first of several issues, man. Like she should have been dead right there. We find out later she does. She survives this.
Oh, not as worse as the other person we're about to talk about.
I
next.
know. I know. One of them. It doesn't matter who. One of the people who got butchered should have died. Gail, her, or Chad. We'll talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, the core 4, they end up showing up back up at the the shrine, and they're like, let's go on in. They're 5 minutes behind. They'll join us here. It'll be fine. They'll be ready 9:00. We'll crush this thing. Let's go set up some Home Alone traps.
But and Brad, Chris Snyder did say they run off the train into Times Square into the shrine. Yeah, like again, like how are you supposed to beat out Jason in Manhattan? Like that's just again my thing. I just don't think they can outbeat that. And I think that would be a little too tacky, in my opinion. But I wouldn't disagree if they did something like that. I think that could easily look cool.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could have been a fun shot for sure. No doubt. It could have been fun. Very crowded. Very, a lot of things you could do with that. Never a loss going to Times Square. But they show up. They go in there. Man, they're trying to get everything set up. It's about this time they find out like Detective Bailey calls the peeps. They're all with Kirby. Detective Bailey calls them, and he's like, "Hey, man. This is what Brett was talking about earlier. Hey man, Kirby's no longer with the FBI. She went freaking mental and she got fired about 6 months ago. And we just found this out. So be careful over there, okay?"
Yeah, like trying to throw my girl underneath the bus, man. That was freaking pissed me off. I was even concerned too. I'm like, oh shit, Brad's right. I will never hear the end of this. And so everybody's at the shrine. They're hanging out. Kirby is just making sure the area was clear. And then Tara and Chad were fighting over 100-year-old freaking candy. The freaking candy raisins, or I think chocolate covered raisins. I think they were fighting over. But that's like, you know what? Screw the raisins. Let's get that freaking lip action in. So they finally kiss after finally building up that moment. And I think that was a great moment until Ghostface decided to become the biggest cop blocker in the history of cop blockers in a horror movie and freaking stabs Tara in the freaking back, man.
Yeah, I totally even forgot that she got stabbed again.
Oh, no, and I did too, because she did not. That's the one little nitpick of this movie as well. She did not sell that injury.
No, you forget it immediately because she's like, "Oh, cool. What did I get? She got stung by a bee. A buck must have bit me."
It's kind of like freaking Jonah Hill and 21 Jump Street. Like, when did I get stabbed? That's awesome.
She didn't seem to care at all. But then fucking Chad, he got destroyed, dude. He got freaking slayed.
Oh my
the other
God,
Ghostface,
dude.
yeah, the other Ghostface pops out. They flay his ass, double stabbing, like do all that crazy stuff. Dude, he got completely jacked up over there, man. I thought for sure he was a goner, and he should have been.
Dude. And can I just say, that is first time ever we get 2 Ghostface killers on the same screen killing, or supposedly killing one person. Like, we've never seen that in a Scream movie before. And then as they turn around and do the double, like, knife cling, dude, that is to cool. me a top 3, like, coolest shot in Scream franchise history.
Yeah, and at this point, I still was kind of thinking there might only be one killer. Like, I thought that was a possibility. Because I didn't know exactly who it was. I couldn't really do the whole, well, you're here. So I don't know. So I didn't know. But as soon as I saw the 2 pop out, I was like, holy shit, this was a big surprise. They both still have their mask on. It wasn't a reveal with it, because they've always done the reveal the same way. They reveal one and they're like, oh shit, you're the killer. And they reveal the second one. You're like, oh no, there's 2. This time they show up 2 at the same time. They're still slaying. The reveal was done just a little bit differently, and I thought that was kind of fresh. And then they have this epic chase sequence where they're going around the shrine and they're like stabbing people and they're like trying to, like it's just like a nice sequence, a nice tense moment when 2 ghost faces were running around trying to slay people.
Yeah, and to answer Sebastian's question, because this kind of ties into what we're about to do, what do you think it would be better? Excuse me. Man, I'm telling you, that drink. Do you think it would have been better if one of the killers was Kirby? I don't think so. Apparently, Brad predicted Kirby to be a killer, so I'm sure he thinks so. Or after this movie, how it played out, do you still stand by that, or would you still would have liked to see Kirby as a killer?
I think it would have been cool. Again, I was still disappointed with the reveal.
Mhm.
It turned out being okay. I thought it was better than 5. Because they do basically here in a second. We'll just cut to the chase. Kirby, and I'll continue that point here in a second.
Mhm.
Kirby, shows up and she's all like, "Oh, I just got knocked the fuck out back there," and everybody's like, "No, you didn't. You're lying. You're the Ghostface," because Detective Bailey's there. And then he shoots her, right? Is that how that transpired?
Well,
Detective Bailey.
Ghostface popped up right behind Bailey, and that's when Kirby was going to shoot that Ghostface. But before she could even do that, Detective Bailey had a quicker draw and shot Kirby right in the freaking shoulder, man. Kind of like the same area where Detective Mark Kincaid got shot in Scream 3.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. There's so many people in this franchise that get shot, stabbed, shot again, stabbed again. How many times has Gail been shot in the stomach and stabbed? And now the same thing we're seeing this all like Kirby got stabbed in the 4th one. Now she's getting all torn up again here in this one. And obviously Chad's just going to keep fucking getting brutally murdered and then come back to life somehow because he should have died in the first movie. I like Chad, though. I'm glad he's still around.
Yeah.
He's actually one of my favorites.
I'm telling you, it's Dewey 2.0, man. That's what he's officially labeled as Dewey 2.0 in this particular trilogy.
Yeah, I could see that. The parallels are there for sure. But yeah, so I mean, they do the reveal. He takes off the mask. He's like, well, he doesn't have his mask on. He's just him. He's like, oh, I'm the killer. And then it's like his son's the killer. It's like, okay, big surprise there. And then they take off the third mask because there's 3 Ghostface, which is again, first time. I'll take it. It's better than 2. I would have liked to see 1, but you know what? We're done with this 2 thing. I'm so tired of 2. Let's do something different. They have 3 this time. So that did get me excited. They're all standing there together. That was really badass.
And who was the third killer, Brad?
It was fucking Quinn, dude. The one we thought died earlier. Boom, boom, boom. And then I could almost hear. I know. I could almost hear "Hello Zepp" playing in my head, like do do do. I faked it.
Dude,
I faked it.
oh, dude, how great would it have been if like that actually did play, and then like Detective Bailey's like, oh, or even goes, oh, sorry, that's my ringtone. It turns okay, that would have been too goofy for the situation. But yeah, dude, that was that Hello Zeb kind of moment in this movie that Quinn was freaking she is alive. She's so grateful to be alive.
She's been in a safe place.
Oh man, but yeah, go ahead, Brad. I know you were displeased with the reveal, which was a lot of people's main issue with this movie.
I didn't hate it. I thought the Quinn reveal was nice. I just really with as much talk as they gave us in the trailers about Ghostface being different and how brutal he was, I thought it was kind of a disservice to be just another like, we just met you this movie, here you go. But at the very least, it connected to the last killer and Richie. It was Richie's dad and his 2 brothers, or his 2 siblings, I should say. So that turned out nice. I like that aspect of it. The motive was at least better than 5 because they're on a revenge tour. So I like that. You could see why they were so brutal in this movie because they're just trying to get some revenge. So that was cool. Again, I wanted it to be Kirby just because I thought that would be cool. Because in fact, she would be something different. She would be a legacy character that turned into a killer. But every freaking movie, man, literally every movie, I think in this franchise, the killer reveal is somebody we meet in that movie. So it's never somebody they return and make the killer. So I was really hoping for something cool like that, but it wasn't. I didn't hate it. I was just slightly disappointed with it. And then
we getting a little idea for Scream 7 in the future?
Dude, I've been getting all kinds of ideas for Scream 7, but the problem is they always
save them for Thursday.
Yeah. Well, the problem is they always kill off all the killers, and they do that here, albeit good ass kills. The Ghostface all 3 of them got brutally murdered throughout the sequence here.
Oh man, dude, yeah. So we get the reveal. And then apparently they turned out to be AKA what? Richie's family. So we're going off with pretty much the same arc as the second movie or second Scream movie, where it's pretty much family member gets revenge. And Melissa, I saw you in the chat. What's going on, Melissa? How are you doing? And then yeah, so they pretty much wanted pure fashion revenge, man. And then this is where Sam is like, well, Richie was a little pretty much in paraphrasing here. Pretty much Richie was a little bitch, man, with a limp dick. Her words. And then that's when they start fighting back. The Carpenter sisters freaking fight back, and Evan gets freaking gets a mean stabbing from Sam. And then that's when they try to run away, Sam and Tara. And then, and by the time too, Quinn gets brutally hit by a brick, and pretty much a lot of her teeth fell out, man. So a brutal scene there.
And that wasn't the
then,
first person to get brutally hit with the brick in New York either. I'm thinking back to you, Marv.
Oh my god, Harry! I reached the top. But yeah, speaking of reaching the top, freaking Sam and Tara were reaching the top, and then they like Jenna. I'm trying to explain this scene where Tara was about to fall. Sam grabs a hold of Tara. Ethan's down there waiting for Tara to fall while Quinn is playing mind games upstairs. And then this is where Tara says, "You got to let me go." Because they've been playing this whole like story throughout the movie where Tara wants Sam to let her go and be her own individual and all that. So finally Sam lets her go. Tara freaking stabs.
She says
Ethan
something cool.
Something cool. Hey, she did aim for the bushes with freaking bushy hair with Evan right there. So she falls on Evan. She gets stabbed in the gut, but Tara freaking one-ups his ass and stabs him right in the damn mouth and twists the knife. And then after that, Sam gets the gun, points it at Quinn and saying, "There's another brother that you lost," and freaking shoots her in the damn head. And then we get a freaking one-on-one mono-e-mono matchup between Sam and Bailey. But before we get into that, you guys super chat to address.
I do. Speaking about what you just said, Chris Snyder, my man, he sends in $2.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
And he said what you just said. Looks like you're down another brother.
Yeah, that was she has a brother.
It was savage, man. Thanks, Chris. That was yeah, man. I like, dude. So that's what made this end sequence a lot of fun. After the reveal, after you kind of get past the disappointment of, oh, okay, it's not going to be super epic. The chaos ensues because there's 3 killers, there's 3 survivors or something like that. I think that's right. Maybe 4 survivors with Kirby. I don't know. It's just chaotic, dude. They're chasing each other around. There's battles going on. It's like Super Smash Brothers in there. You don't know what's going on. There's battles going on in every aspect of this arena. People are falling off the fucking map. People are getting freaking their heads freaking stabbed and twisted and all kinds of chaos. It's fun. It was intense, man. There's shit was going on all over the place, and we're having a good time.
Yeah, we're definitely getting a good time. And Brad, I'm sure you got a little pissed off at this from Detective Bailey. When Sam was about to shoot Detective Bailey, her clip was empty. And then they charge at each other. And you learn later on that Detective Bailey had another gun, man. So why did he not pull out that other gun, just shoot Sam right then and there?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That was another thing I was disappointed is that all the killers died. That was one thing I was upset with because he gets got here in a second too. At that very moment. Honestly, how does he die again? How exactly does she? It was through. How does she kill him again? Do you remember?
Detective Bailey.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting ready to get into this now. They fall off like the top balcony into the shrine area, and Detective Bailey gets knocked down for like a couple of seconds or minutes, and he freaking gets up, and then this is where he goes into like the area where the Ghostface big shrines are with the outfits, and that is where Bailey's outfits was missing. He goes, you finally step into your father's history or something like that. And then this is where Sam calls him and all that, and just say, what's your favorite scary movie and all that, being like making her daddy proud, man, making her daddy proud. And then that's when freaking Sam just freaking stabs Detective Bailey. Holy shit, I even lost count at one point. I don't know how many times she freaking stabbed him. And then Tara's Sam goes like, I'm not like my father and all that. And then Tara gives Sam that look like, and then Sam goes, but you did fuck with my family. Bam! Knife stuck right in the freaking eye, man, which follows the rules of aim for the head, so that counts. And then freaking Detective Bailey goes down for the count. And then that's when Tara and Sam have a nice little like sister, one last good interaction between sisters and all that, how they still want to be a part of each other's life, and Tara's going to get so much freaking canceling. And as we get all that, freaking Evan freaking comes back, which I thought his ass was dead, comes back, and then what do you know it? freaking Kirby Reed throws a box TV right at Evan's freaking head, man. And she makes a joke going, I saw that in a movie once.
Yeah, that was good, dude. I love that freaking Detective Bailey kill. I know it kind of slipped my mind for a second, but the way she brutally murders his ass was fantastic. I think she's I really hope they're setting her up to be like the final killer of this franchise, like because she's fucking she's good. She's intense. She's a badass. I like that a lot. Yeah, that was good. I like that, and the Kirby thing too. With the TV was awesome.
Yeah, and I'll finish up things, but while you're doing those calculations, Brad, how we finished it up. First off, to let y'all know, because I kind of read this today, or saw a TikTok about it, actually. The reason they threw in that TV kill of how Kirby threw that TV to Evan, the directors wanted to show you that Stu Wagner is dead. Because he got a box TV thrown on him and he died, and Evan got a box TV thrown at him and he died. So box TV equals death.
No, it doesn't, because earlier, and I'm the biggest proponent of keeping Stu out of this. I don't think they need to, but earlier in the movie, when Mindy and Kirby were talking to each other, Kirby's like, "Oh, that's TV that killed Stu," and Mindy's like, "Well, that's if you believe he's dead," meaning that there's rumors out there that he did not die that night. The rumors have been circulating. And that's true. Mindy would know that. Mindy would know that. This is Randy's fucking niece here. She would know the rumors, and the rumors are there. I think it's more open for him to come back than ever. I don't necessarily want to see it, but I think they made it more open than it was before.
Right there, my friend. Couldn't have said it better myself. Don't want Stu back. We don't need Stu back. We established already that we don't need those particular type of characters that we all love for the previous movies to make a successful screen movie. And God, like, you don't have Sidney Prescott in this movie, and this movie turned out to be one of the best ones in the entire franchise. So again, we don't need Stu Wagner back. I'm telling you, we do not need him back. So I agree with you, Melissa.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying we need to bring him back. I just think it's more open now than it was. But yes, I agree. Nev being out of this movie, as much as I love Nev and I wanted her to come back initially, after seeing the movie, it's better without her. They were able to move on and grow, take the training wheels off, and just have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just to wrap everything up, the police arrive. Freaking hot across neighbor called in the police saying, "Hey, I think you could use some backup," And then they're outside. They were checking on Kirby. Kirby's saying like, "Legacy doesn't have to be a bad thing. If you ever need me, give me a call." Leading up like that, and I'll say my prediction on that on Thursday, but that is an obvious like Kirby's coming back, man. She's coming back. We all know this because we love her. And then this is where Tara gets said about like Chad, and all of a sudden you hear, "We got a live one here." And then freaking Chad freaking survives. Like, what the actual hell? And then Tara gets her moment with Chad and kisses him, and they load him up with the ambulance. And then that's when Mindy comes out of nowhere, high on pain medication, going, "Oh, I figured out who the killer is. It's freaking Detective Bailey and Evan." And then someone wins, and Quinn. And she goes, "I missed it again." Like, which I bet you in Scream 7, she's going to get the killer right just to finish out the trilogy. So whoever Mindy says who the killer is, I'm telling you right now, that's going to be the killer. That's one of my predictions for Thursday.
That whole ending, dude, I was just like, fuck off, man. These guys are not coming back. Everybody came back at the end.
Yeah. And so with that, and then the last shot we get is Sam holding her dad's mask, which, by the way, I absolutely love the weathered down Ghostface mask in this movie. I think it's the best mask or look of Ghostface in the entire franchise, in my opinion. So she gets a hold of that, but she drops it to the ground, and then her and Tara walk off to that badass Demi Lovato song of "Staying Alive" that I've been freaking rocking ever since the movie came out on my
Still
Spotify.
alive, right?
Yeah, Still Alive. Yeah, that's it. I apologize. And then we get to the freaking credits. And then, just in case, if you did not stay at the end of the credits, there was one little like clip at post-credit scene. Brad, did you see that, or did you?
I did. Yes. Thanks to Chris. He pointed out to me before I went.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Thank you. Same here with Chris. We freaking stayed for that. And then that's just in case. Mindy says, "Not every movie needs a post-credit scene." And then everything ends. And I think that is one of the best post-credit scenes of all time.
It was, because it's true, man. I'm so sick of those things. But yes, I hated the way it ended with Sam throwing that mask down. I was like, dude, whenever they walk out, I was still a little bit bummed out about the fact of A, the killer reveal, B, the way that all the killers fucking died again, leaving nowhere to go for 7. But then when she pulls the mask up, I was like, oh, this could redeem it all. Put it in your bag and walk out. This could redeem it all. This could be that moment. This could be that one thing that sets some intrigue up for the next Scream movie for once. And she throws it on the ground. I was like, now we got to start another movie from scratch with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
I have that same problem too, man. They did nothing to set up the 7th movie, so I'm kind of more curious now how they're going to build all this up again. So I am intrigued in that, and I'm with you. I was very disappointed in that, but other than that, man, that's the freaking end of freaking Scream 6.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, so do you need a couple more time with
No,
the
I'm good.
score?
I'm good.
Okay. Excellent. So let's go ahead and go with our final thoughts and a movie rating for ourselves. So Brad, I'm actually going to go let you go first on this one.
Yeah. Overall, obviously, I don't think the movie's perfect. I pointed out a few things to it. They're really nitpicks. I mean, obviously, I think they did a lot of things in the writing that could have been, basically a lot of plot holes, a lot of conveniences. A lot of people survived that shouldn't have survived. I was when I left this movie, I was like, dude, that was the most brutal Scream movie ever. Ghostface was so badass. I was driving home and I was like, well, wait a minute. He didn't actually kill anybody that mattered. The only person that died was the fucking the Mindy's girlfriend, and I can't remember who else. I mean, obviously the people at the beginning did.
The store clerks, the therapists. I could tell you exactly how many kills they were, but again, I'm saving that for the predictions.
Yeah. But it was such a random, like everybody, I was like, nobody died in this movie. Interesting. But nonetheless, I look past all those things because when I was watching this movie, I was on one hell of a thrill ride. I enjoyed every minute of it. I loved it. I had a good time. Ghostface was, despite the fact he wasn't very efficient, he was badass. And it was fun to see him slaying shit up, some good kills, good character moments. I thought the characters themselves really set up to continue the franchise if the story itself didn't. So I really enjoy it. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5.
Ooh, very nice, man. After my first watch, I gave it a 4.5 as well. But after second watch, man, I did unfortunately change my score. Yeah, you're right, Brad. This movie absolutely is not perfect. It's not perfect. It has its fair share of problems. And again, with the lack of just building up that potential story for Scream 7 was disappointing. But I don't care because this movie gave me more than I anticipated in this movie, and I still cannot get this movie out of my head. I love this movie so much. Kind of like the example of You're Next, okay? I know it's not a 5 out of 5. I know for most people it's a 4 out of 5, but just to me, You're Next is a 5 out of 5. So I'm going to carry that philosophy over to this. I know Scream is not perfect. I know a lot of people are going to get these 4.5s out of 5s and 4s out of 5s. But for me personally, as of right now, it could change later once the movie comes out on DVD and all that. I am giving Scream 6 a golden reel 5 out of 5. Just because of what it did for me. Again, I know it's not perfect, but just for how much fun I had with this movie that I was not expecting to have that much fun with.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
So let's see here. With that is going to be extremely high. Welcome to primetime, bitch.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
That's another TV killing right there. Speaking of which,
oh my God.
Let's see what the fans think, man. The horror fans, you guys here tonight.
Yeah, because they matter.
Yeah, man, because this movie was actually interesting. I was interested to get the score because a lot of people love it. Some people hate it. Some people didn't like this movie at all. They really, really got taken out of the movie by some of the writing decisions. Again, let's see what the score is here today from all you peeps. 89% of horror fans like this movie, and you guys in this room here tonight, the 30 of you that came in and out throughout the night, gave this movie a B+ average score. So I think these are quite solid numbers, Birdie.
Man, I feel like it could be a hair bit more to get in the A range, but you know what? I'll accept what I can get. I believe this is our second highest in the franchise.
I think you're correct. I think you're correct.
Yeah, with the first one being the top dog, which again, totally understandable why it's the top dog. So great job, everybody. And thank you so much for interacting and giving us the actual real score to this amazing movie, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah. So, Brad, any last thoughts you want to say before we start closing out?
I'm all good.
You are all good. All right, let me get that back up. Let me check the chat real quick because I saw Sebastian say earlier how we would rank the killers now after Scream 6. I think that could be a potential fun video for us to do later on.
I think I honestly, if we have time, there's a plethora of Scream rankings I would like to do in the next week or two.
Same.
So.
Yeah, so we'll do our best to try to do that, Sebastian. So that is a great idea. We appreciate that. So what do we have left? First off, we got actually let me get this banner so y'all can see these. No, stop it. Scream franchise ranking. We are doing a premiere video tomorrow at 7:30. So you can hang out with us for a little bit before you hop over to Braden's channel, Fear Freaks, between him and Destiny, as they go over their spoiler review for Scream 6. So you can hang out with us and see where we rank this franchise. And that again is tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for a premiere video. And during this premiere, if you get there, Chris Snyder is doing a Scream 5 digital code giveaway. So if you want to snag up your Scream 5 digital code, be sure to hang out in that chat.
Yes.
Yes. And then Brad, man, actually, before we get to that one, as we already stated earlier, this Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time, we are having a Good Real Live post predictions. We're bringing Destiny back on. We're going to go over our predictions to see who is the prediction champion. Is Destiny going to reclaim her title, or is there going to be a new champion? You need to find out on Thursday. While we're at it, we're also going to talk about Scream 7, the future of Scream 7, and kind of like our early predictions for Scream 7. That again is on Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And Brad, we also, oh, actually, sorry. God, I keep getting ahead, man, but this Sunday at noon Eastern time, we are having Back from the Dead, the March episode, that is, as Destiny and I do this show together. And we got some really good movies to talk about, as Brad's favorite movies on that screen right there as The Strangers Pray at Night. So we'll talk about that movie some more and some other good movies. Again, that is Sunday at noon Eastern time. Brad, now we'll get to what you're most looking forward to this month.
Oh, yeah, the real March Madness bracket. We're going to be slaying that. That's on the 29th, right? Is that right?
The 31st.
31st, whatever. We're going to be kicking it off on the 31st of March. We're going to end March in the best way possible with the real March Madness bracket of 1990s movies. 64 of them sons of bitches. The bracket has been revealed. Check out our Facebook page to check out that bracket and get ready to fill yours out because we're going to be having a contest.
Yeah, and the contest will be revealed. The contest rules will be revealed next week to see how you can have a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card, or if you really do good in this contest, you might get something else. Again, the details will be revealed next week. And lastly, this Friday at noon, we got a big announcement that we're finally ready to share with you all. So you want to stay tuned to that. So just keep an eye out from those socials on Friday at noon.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. So, okay. That is everything from what I see at the moment. Do you have anything else?
I think that's it, my friend.
Alrighty, so guys, we're going to go ahead and close out. And what do you all think about Scream 6? Do you absolutely love this movie and you agree with the scores, the scare scores? Or are you one of the people that do not like this movie? Let us know all of that in the comment section down below. Let's get that discussion rolling.
Let's do that.
And Brad, where can they freaking find us? Just in case.
You can find us on our socials down below in the description page. Right down in there.
Absolutely, they
Right down in
can.
there.
So we're going to go ahead and log out. We will see you at the premiere tomorrow in the chat, and we'll see you on the next live stream on Thursday. So we'll see you all then.
Peace.